What's happening, guys? Kenny here again, and today I've got another in the workshop for you, but as you can see, I'm not in the workshop. I was going to do this in there, but I do need to come up here and show you guys the finished product. I wasn't able to actually film these processes, and as you guys know, I don't always like to show the whole process because I've already done videos with the process, so you see how I do it. I did do things a little bit differently on these, and I'll explain how I did that and the things I used that were different than my normal, process. So, in saying that, as you can see, these are the knives I did. This is the Spyderco Spidey Chef, which I did a anodizing on the handle and also did a acid etch to the blade. This is Steve, Super Steel Steve's full-size Griptilian. This is the original hollow ground 154 cm, which I did a stone wash, acid etch and stone wash to, so you guys can see. Then this is my Chavez Redemption Street, which I anodized the backspacer and did a stone wash. And then this is Spidey Boy, as you guys would know him from Instagram. This is Spidey Boy's Endura, which I did a acid etch and stone wash to. So in saying that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain how I did these differently, or I should say the machinery that I managed to finally pick up that made this all a little bit easier, at least a little less time consuming, a little less elbow grease consuming. But I did manage to get myself a tumbler, which I will put on the screen right now. And yes, this did help the process a good bit. For one, it helped with the timing because I could be tumbling or stone washing while I'm working on other stuff. But also just the media inside, as you can see, is that is a medium ceramic media, tumbling media. And then I also put some of my normal river stones that I used before for stone washing. I put those in there as well. And I am getting a really nice stone wash from those. As you can see here, I used it on this Griptilian blade, and it gave a nice even stone wash. And then as you can see, I put my edge on it. That is 15 degrees per side. It's not perfectly even side to side, but it's pretty good. That's the 1500. And yes, and then I did this one in the same manner, acid etch, and then the stone wash in that tumbler. Really getting some nice even stone washing from the tumbler. And with the tumbler, what I am doing is I'm putting some water and soap, just a little bit, just to wet the stones. You don't want it so much that it's dripping on the motor and then eventually going to make the motor go bad. You just want to put a little bit of normal dishwashing fluid, just a tiny bit in with some water, and then just let the stones get a little wet. It gives a more even polish. It lets the stones run across it a little smoother. It just seems to give a better result in the end. I actually did this one as well. This Spidey Chef, I also did a regrind to. When I initially etched it, I went back and then ground it by hand. This is about, I think, 11 thousandths on average behind the edge now at 15 degrees per side. And then it gets up to about 20 thousandths at the tip, which I did by design. I wanted to leave that tip. It's already fine enough. So I went ahead and reground it and then acid etched this again and then did a tumble. Now, what I did differently with this, because you guys saw what LC200 did last time in the Native 5, what happened with this one, and I believe the difference between this one and the Native 5, is that the Native 5 had a much finer polish on the initial, bevel, on the initial primary bevel. So this one had more of a coarse grit finish on the primary bevel, and I think that's why the acid etch took much easier on this LC200N, or although I'm not positive why they would have etched so differently. The native was more, it took a lot longer, and then it started to bubble from below the surface, it looked like, and then all of a sudden the outside layer fell off, and I had these ridges on the blade, which then sanded flat, looked like that crazy design you guys see on my native. I'm actually going to grab that real quick just so I can show you what I'm talking about. So see, this was the finished product of the native, and as you can see, when I sanded those ridges flat, that's what gave it that texture and that crazy cool look. I probably could have left this one in for longer. If I had left this one in a lot longer, I probably would have gotten more of the ridge effect and then been able to sand it flat. But this took about, I think, an hour in the acid total time. So LC200 still takes a lot longer than other steels, although I think even after a half an hour I was getting a pretty solid effect. Maybe not quite as dark as this is now, but really came out cool looking. Really dig the way this etch came out. With acid etching, always be very careful with your times. Each steel is going to be different. Depending on your mix, you know, I did a little bit more acid to water in this mix than I did when I had this one. This one's more like, I think it was 50-50 acid to water. This one's more like 2 to 1. So that depends on how long it's going to take as well. This was in the same mixture as this. This was in about 10 minutes. So that shows you kind of how long a normal steel would take compared to like LC200N. This would take about a half an hour to 45 minutes to get this dark of an acid etch on LC200N, where this is about 5-10 minutes. So just be really careful. Always check your piece. Actually touch it with gloves, obviously, but when you're in the acid etch, when you're in the acid, sometimes you bring it out, it looks fine, and then you touch it and it's much darker. It's like that outside layer just kind of hanging around. So if you touch it and like touch the blade, it'll remove any of that outer steel and it'll show you what the actual color underneath is. With this handle, what I ended up doing, and kind of gives it that really cool look to it, is I did an original, or the initial anodizing at probably, I think this one was, I did it at like 65 volts, I think. Or, oh, no. Okay, so I did this one to like a pretty high voltage, like 95. Then I went back and tumbled it. And then I did the lower voltage at about 65, I think is what it was. And that gave it that, almost like that purple under hue with that like almost blue to acid green type of outside. Not quite the acid green, more in that blue hue. But it gives it a really cool look. But the stone washer makes this possible to give it a nice even look. You can see I already scratched it. I could always just throw it back in the anodizer and hit it again at like the 65 range. And that'll color it what this like inside purple is. But it came out really cool and I love the way it looks. I did the same thing with this clip and backspacer, except I did this one, I think this one's at about 26 for the blue, and then I went back after the stone wash and did a bronze, I think at about 11 volts. And it gave it a really cool look. Did the backspacer the same way. You can see the bronze on the edges and in the scratches. But really dig the way the stone washer's helping with that. I initially tried to just use the black, but this, whatever this coating is, whatever this it's like a PVD coating or something, whatever that is not going to allow the surface to be anodized. So you have to remove the coating before you can do anything. And I kind of figured that's what it was going to happen, but I had to give it a shot. I wanted to see if I could just anodize within the black, wherever the black got stone washed off. But it didn't quite work out. So that's it, guys. I just wanted to give you a quick shot of what I've been working on, what I've been up to. I do have a bunch of micarta as well that I've made, but I've not gotten into making the scales yet. I'll go ahead and put those on the screen right here. I'll show you some video or pictures of that micarta I've got made. I'm pretty excited to go ahead and get into that, but I don't know when I'm going to be able to. And I am going to do a channel update soon, but I got a lot of stuff going on right now, guys. And with the whole COVID-19 thing going on right now, it's going to be a while, I think, before I get back into the groove of things. I am still working, so I'm not able to, a lot of people have so much time on their hands, be able to focus on their channel. I don't have that. So I'm going to continue to make videos as I can, but I got a lot of stuff coming up right now, guys, in my personal life. So it's not going to be as many videos as normally. A lot of the projects I've been meaning to get finished just aren't getting finished, and I apologize for that. Yeah, I'm gonna try and keep updating you guys on what's going on, but I will let you know in a full channel update. With the COVID thing going on, I don't know how long this is all gonna last and how crazy it's gonna get, but should be interesting. I'm not gonna get into that, guys, because I could go on a rant for 15 minutes on just that alone. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it got some value to you, although I know that showing you the whole process would be a better way to do it. I just can't always do that, and I don't think it's necessary to do it on every single one. So I just wanted to show you guys what the finished product looked like. Really stoked with the way these came out. Really nice acid etch on those three. Really enjoy the clip on this guy now. I love the way it looks, so really stoked with how that came out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a good one. Thanks.